Okay, so welcome to my presentation. I'm going to be showing you all how to create a roaming profile as well as home folder and connecting multiple VMs. So first thing you want to do is open up your VirtualBox and you want to go to each of the virtual machines that you have created. You want to click on the virtual machine and go to the settings, and you go into the network option and you're going to see virtual host only Ethernet adapter is selected here. You want to select an advance and choose the adapter type, and in the promiscuous mode you're going to allow all. Now what you want to do is do the same thing for the other VMs to make sure they are connected to each other. So you want to go to the server, select settings, network host only adapter, and in promiscuous you're going to allow all. Okay, same thing for the XP. You go to network host only adapter. However, for XP you're going to notice here the adapter type is a bit different. It's not the Intel Pro that was used by the server as well as the Vista or the Windows 7. So you want to use the PC Fast 3 that is already selected. You're going to also allow all. Okay, then you go into your Vista and also configure that as well. Go to network, hit OK. Alright, good. First thing you want to do now, you want to configure all the machines to make sure they are connecting to one another. So I'm going to start by loading up the server. I'm going to start that up. Then I'm going to start up some of the other VMs to show you the connectivity. Right, so the server machine has started up. You want to go ahead and log into the server, put in your password. Okay, so now that the server is up and running, what you want to do is go to your control panel. to Network and Internet and Network and Sharing Center. Now you're going to see the name of the PC here, the server X. Network is unidentified. You want to go to your Manage Network Connections. You're going to right click, go to Properties, and we're going to be working with IP version 4, so we can deselect IP version 6. You're going to select IP version 4, go to Properties. You're going to see it has obtain an IP address automatically. We're going to be using a static IP address. You're going to use the following address, and we're going to put in an address that we're going to be using for the demonstration. Subnet mask will automatically populate based on the network type that you have entered, and the default gateway you want to go ahead and use the same IP address that you use for the server. We're going to use a DNS server address, but what we're going to use is the loopback address. And this address is used primarily for testing, so that's why we're using the loopback address. You're going to go ahead and hit OK and save this address, and you're going to close that. Right, what you also want to do is turn on network discovery for your server to ensure that your server will be able to connect to other PCs on the network. Now what you would have seen is the access has turned to local only, and connection type says local area connection, indicating you no longer have any connection to the internet. So you go to network discovery, turn this on. You're also going to turn on file sharing and public folder sharing. The reason for turning on all these settings is that users on other PCs would be able to gain access to files and folders on the server. Also to make the server communicate with other PCs. You can turn on password protecting sharing as well. Okay, so now that you've configured all these, let's close off this server manager here. Very good. So now that we've closed off all of these and we've set up the IP address for the server, right, you can go ahead and exit out of this. And what you want to do is go to our Windows 7 machine that I've already started and was running in the background. Go to my Windows 7 machine, and remember I showed you before I selected the same adapter type for my Windows 7. So what I'm going to do is go to the control panel for the Windows 7, and as you see here, you see it says unidentified network. I'm going to go to Network and Internet, Network and Sharing Center, and we're going to be doing basically the same thing that we did on the server. I am going to go to my change adapter settings. You're going to go to right click, Properties, and we're going to be using IP version 4 again. Select properties, and you're going to type in an IP address. So we're going to assign the IP address to, we're going to get a subnet mask, and the default gateway is going to be the IP address of the server. And for the preferred DNS, we are going to use the IP address of the server as well. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK and close. Now you're going to go back and make sure that file sharing is turned on the Windows 7 machine, just as we did with the server machine. Select this as a home network, close, and go to advanced sharing settings. So you're going to see here on the home profile here, make sure network discovery is turned on, file sharing is turned on, public folder sharing is turned on, and password protecting sharing is turned off. So that now those are already configured, we can cancel this, and we can exit out of this. Now what you want to do, you can click on start, go to control panel, computer properties, and you're going to see that the Windows 7 machine belongs to the workgroup named workgroup. And if I go to my Windows server machine and I go to the same options, what you're going to actually see, it also belongs to workgroup. I can even close this off, go to network, and when I go into network, what you're going to see is the Windows 7 machine and the Windows 7 machine, because they're both on the same workgroup. You can also test this, bring up the command prompt, type in ipconfig/all. You're going to see the IP address that you just created with the DNS, the default gateway, and your loopback address. What you want to do now is try connecting to the Windows 7 machine I just created. So you're going to ping it, and you're seeing you get some connectivity there. Close this off. You can also go to the Windows 7 machine and try pinging the server machine, and you should get the same result. And you should see that it's able to ping it. So you can close this off. Next I'm going to set up Windows Vista, add Windows Vista onto the workgroup. I'm going to go ahead and start that. Windows XP machine has now started up. You can quick start, go to control panel, and you're going to go to network and internet connections. You're going to go to network connections, and you're going to add the Windows XP machine to the work group and ping the server to make sure they're getting connections. Okay, so you're going to right click, go to properties, and you're going to go to TCP IP. If you notice, there isn't IP version 6 or IP version 4 option, so you're going to select TCP/IP properties, and you're going to use the following IP address. And the same default gateway. Now, after you set up the IP address for this, you're going to hit advanced. You're going to see the IP address in subnet mask. It's already saved there. Just hit OK to save. And what you want to do, you want to go to advanced and then go to the firewall settings. You're going to go to advanced here, and then you're going to see ICMP. Select settings and select allow incoming echo requests. Hit OK, OK, and then close this off. What this does is allow the Windows XP machine to be connected externally from another machine. You can close this off, hit start, run command prompt, command the CMD, and you can put in the same thing. You're going to see the IP address created, the subnet mask, the default gateway, as well as the DNS server. So we're going to typing in the XP machine, the server machine, sorry. And we are going to ping it there. We're also going to try pinging the Windows Vista machine, 7 machine, sorry. We're also getting that. We can also go to the Windows 7 machine, try pinging the Windows XP machine. And we're successful with that. And you can do the same on the server. Great. And you're getting through with that as well. So the last machine to configure and get connected would be the Windows XP machine. Okay, so we're now going to connect the Windows Vista machine to my server. Make sure that they're both communicating. I'm going to hit start with the control panel. Go to network and internet. And you're going to go to network and sharing center. It's the same as the Windows Server as well as the Vista, as the Windows 7. Okay, you're going to see access as local area connection. You're going to go to manage network connections. right click on the local area connection and you go to properties. You are going to deselect IP version 6, select IP version 4 and choose properties, and you're going to give it an address on the network. And the same here, you're going to give it the same IP address as the server, as well as the gateway takes the IP address of the server. You're going to hit OK. Close this out. Next, you want to go and make this computer discoverable, so you're not going to turn on its network discovery. Let's choose continue. Close. Turn on file sharing. Apply. Turn on public folder sharing. And turn off password protected sharing. Now that you have done this, you can exit the network and sharing center and try pinging the server machine. We'll try pinging the server. And if I go to the server, I can also ping the Windows Vista machine. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you all is how to create a roaming profile. To do this, you need to install domain services on your server so that you can promote the server to a domain controller and add the other VMs to that particular domain. First thing you want to do is click on Start. You're going to go to Administrative Tools. Sorry, you can go to Server Manager. And when you go to Server Manager, you're going to see there's a feature that says Roles. You want to select on Roles, and you're going to select Add Roles. You're going to select Server Roles. What you want to add is Active Directory Domain Services, and install that. So then go ahead and select Next, select Next, and then choose Install. is installed, so you could go ahead and select close. Right. Now, to install some of the DNS functions with the domain controller we just installed, you're going to run a command called dcpromo. We're going to select next. We don't have an existing forest, so we're going to actually create a new forest for the first time. Hit next, and this is where you're going to name the forest or the domain that you're going to be connecting all the VMs to. So in this thing, I'm going to name it sknet.com. So that's going to be the name of my domain, sknet.com. Next. Now you're going to get a functional level. This is going to allow you to add forests from other domains as far back as Windows 2008. For the purpose of the demonstration, we're just going to go ahead and use Server 2008. You see there's a notification tells you that you'll be able to add domain controllers that are running Server 2008 or later in this forest. We're going to go ahead and choose next. And they're also going to install the DNS server that is required with the domain controller. And you're just going to ignore this and go ahead and click yes to continue and hit next. Now I normally ask you for a password. Go ahead here and hit next. Now this is going to take a few minutes to install, and as soon as it's completed, it's going to ask you to reboot your machine. So now that the server has restarted, I'm going to log back in, and you can see here the name of the domain that I created, which is sknet, and you're going to see /administrator. So I'm going to put in my password. We're going to hit start and go to click start, go to computer and go to properties. Now when you look at it, you're going to see the server with the name server X, and it's now on a domain on sknet.com. So what I want to do is join the Windows Vista PC to this particular domain as well as the other virtual machines. So I'm going to minimize this, and you're going to see my Windows Vista machine is actually opened up here. When I click on Start and I go to Properties, I actually see this Vista machine is still in a work group. I'm going to select on Change Settings, and you're going to see two options. Select Change, you're going to see Domain and Work Group. I'm going to select Domain. I'm putting the name of the domain that I created, sknet.com, and hit OK. It's going to ask me for permission to join that particular domain from the server, so I'm going to put in the administrator and the password. And it says welcome to the sknet.com domain, and you would now have to restart the Vista machine. Now what I'm going to do is add the Vista, the Windows 7 machine and the Windows XP machine to that domain as well. So I'm going to go to my virtual manager. I want to start the Windows 7 machine. Still have the Windows server running here. And if you actually go to administrative tools, you're going to see Active Directory users and computers. This was installed when I installed the domain services. You can select on that, and you're going to see the domain that I just created here, sknet.com, and it tells you the type is a domain. If I go to network, you are going to see the name of the server, and you're going to see the server name has changed to sknet.com. I go to Control Panel, and I go to Network and Internet, Network and Sharing Center. So the Windows 7 machine has started, and I'm now going to join this machine to the sknet.com domain. Okay, so the Windows 7 machine has started, and I'm now going to join it to the sknet.com domain. I'm going to click on the Windows key and go to Computer and Properties. I'm going to select Change Settings. Now I'm going to join the Windows XP machine to the domain. Right click on my computer and go to properties. And you're going to select computer name. Change. I'm going to hit OK. If you look at the Windows XP machine now, you're going to see some options here. It asks you if you want to log into the domain or if you want to log in locally to the computer itself. You're going to get the same thing with the Windows 7 machine. Going to ask you the name to log in locally, or if you want to switch the user, and you can put in log into the domain with another username and password. What you're going to do now is show you how to create a roaming profile. So you're going to go back to the server machine and click on start and my computer. Go to your local disk. You're going to right click and create a new folder and name it profiles. What you want to do is share this profile with all users on the domain. So when a new user logs into a PC wherever on the network, you're going to be able to have a profile created. Click, go to properties. When you go to properties, you're going to see sharing. You don't want to select and share. You want to go to advanced sharing and select share this folder. Now there's the name of the folder here. You can change this to anything basically, and what you want to do is go ahead and select apply. And then you hit OK. What you want to do next is select share and change sharing permissions. You want to select everyone from here. Then hit add. Select share. Also in advanced sharing, what you want to do is select on permissions, and for everyone you're going to change it to full. So you can see in this here, everyone and the administrators only have access to the file folder. Apply and hit OK. And then you're going to see a network path created for the server profile, and you're going to see it / /serverx / profiles. You're going to need this address when you're actually creating your own profile or the roaming profile. So you're going to hit close. You're going to minimize this, start, and go to administrative tools, Active Directory user and computers. In your users, in the SKNet domain, so you're going to see a lot of users in here. You're going to right click and create a new user. So you're going to create new user. You're going to type in the name of the user. So you're going to put in first name Mary, and the last name is Doe. And the full name will say Mary Doe, and for the lower name you want to name it Doe M. At skinet.com you will see it also populates here. When you hit next, it's going to ask you for a password. It's going to create a password. And it says user must, I don't want my user to change the password on the next login, but usually if you're creating for a new user, you would also want the user to set up a password. So in this option, you can choose user must change password next logon, so the user can create their own personalized password, or you can use user cannot change password, or password never expires. You don't really want to use password never expires, or user cannot change password. So we're going to deselect this, hit next, and finish. Now you're going to see the profile Mary Doe was created. Now what you want to do is right click on Mary Doe and go to her properties, and then you're going to go to profile. Now in profile you're going to see the profile part, and remember before I would have showed you the profile folder here and the properties. This is, if you go to sharing, you'll see the part of the profile, so you can actually copy this from here, or you can also type it in. Then you go back to Mary Doe's profile, and in profile part you're going to copy and paste the address, and then you're going to use another backslash with a variable percent username percent. And what this actually does, this actually takes the name of the profile Mary Doe and attaches it to this particular profile, so that even though the profile name changes, whoever is the new person that's using that particular roaming profile, the name will automatically be populated. You're going to hit apply, and you're going to see Doe M is created, which is the name of our profile. Okay. What we can also do is create a new folder for home folder, and you're going to go ahead and new folder, home folder. You're going to do basically the same thing as the profile folder. You're going to hit properties, sharing. I'm going to select advanced sharing, share this folder, and this permission you're going to allow all to everyone to apply, and hit OK. You can rename this here. Sorry about that. We're going to go to security, and in security you're going to select on advanced. What you want to do, you're going to see permission for some other users here. You're going to hit on edit, and then you're going to choose add. So in this option here you can actually add different users with special permissions to the home folder. And you can see here there are different options for each of them. We'll go to your sharing. We're also going to share this. Make sure it says co-owner. Same thing here. Okay, we'll share this folder. And close this off. In the properties of your profile folder, you also want to look at in advanced sharing. When you go to your permissions, you're going to see they all have full control. Also, when you select share, you're going to see everyone also as co-owner. So, to create a home folder for Merido, you're going to right click, go to properties, and you're going to select the profile tab. To create a local path on the machine that Merido uses, you're going to select local paths. However, if you want to create a centralized local folder, you're going to select connect, and you're going to use a specific allocated drive. In this case, we can use drive N, and 2 is the path of the home folder. In this case, you can go here again, right click on properties and sharing. You can get the path here. What you could also do for the home folder to make it hidden, you can go to advanced sharing and you can put a $sign at the end of this. Now putting a $sign of this would have made the folder hidden so that users can't gain access to someone's home folder. So you can copy this address and Merido, you're going to paste it and you're going to backslash percent username percent and hit apply, and you're going to see here it creates home folder do m. Hit OK, and if we go to here and you double click in the home folder, you're going to see there is a home folder created for Merido. Double click it, you're going to see some options in there as well. Now we're going to test out the home profile. So what you're going to do, I'm going to open up my Windows 7 machine. So I'm going to log into my Windows 7 machine to actually show you the Roman profile. So I'm going to switch user and I'm going to log in here. What I'm going to actually do now, I'm going to put in the name of the domain and the password and hit enter. I should log in. I'm also going to start up my Windows Vista machine to show you the Roman profile in effect. Okay, so here the Windows 7 machine is loading up. I'm going to take it to my server machine and go to computer. And go into profiles, and you're going to see a profile was just created. If you can look here, it was recently created when I logged in for the first time as Merido. Search prepare in my desktop. So I've just created this Roman profile here. I didn't get any errors. If I go to my control panel, and I go to network and internet, network and sharing center, you can see that the Windows 7 machine is now connected to the sknet.com domain, whereas before it was actually connected to an unidentified network or local network. And you see here the name sknet.com, and it says it's a domain network. To show you that this profile is roaming, I'm going to create a new folder and name it test folder, and in here I'm going to create a document. Let's create a new document, a new text file, this hello. I'm going to also create another folder on the desktop. Right, now I'm going to log off of this particular machine. Then I'm going to go to my Windows Vista machine that is also on the domain and log in. I'm going to log in as Mary Doe. So I'm logging in on my Windows Vista machine. And now that I've logged in, you can see the two folders that I've created on my Windows Vista machine. You can see test folder, my network. If I go into test folder, there should be a document named hello. You can also see that it also imported the desktop background that I had from the Windows 7 machine. And you can see the folder is created there. You can click on start, go to control panel, go to network and internet, network and sharing center. And what you should see is this PC is still connected to the sknet.com domain. It's the sknet.com domain network. And to confirm that the profile is roaming, you can right click and go to properties, and you can see select on change. You can see also it asks for permission to get onto this. And if you go to advanced, you're going to see user profiles, performance, user profiles, startup and recovery. Select settings under user profile, and you're going to see 3 profiles. This is a local profile of the machine, the administrator always has local access to whichever machine is logged on to, and you're going to see Mary Doe here on sknet.com logged in as roaming. So we're going to exit this out. And shut this down. I'm also going to show you on my Windows XP machine where it is I can get that profile to be roaming. So I'm going to log in now to the Windows XP machine, and we're going to change the login user. So you're going to change the domain to sknet and the name. So I'm going to use Doe and the password, and that should allow me to log in. If I click on start and I go to properties and advanced, you would see settings. If you look at, you would see Mary Doe sknet. It's that profile is roaming on the Windows XP machine. If I hit on my computer, what you're going to see here is the home folder of Mary Doe. If I double click on this, you're going to get access. You're going to see Mary Doe is the one with access to it, and you're going to see inside here the allocated space that's allowed for that particular drive. So this is the home folder and the roaming profile. If I click on security, you're going to see that Mary Doe here has full access to everything in this folder. Hit OK and shut this down. Alright, so that's it for my video on profiles and home folder, as well as connecting multiple VMs. In my next video, I'll be showing you how to do DHCP server install and configuration.